Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Coach Matt, EliteThrowsCoaching.com. Thank you once again for checking out the video. In today's video, I have made myself two promises. Promise number one, this is not going to turn into a rant. Promise number two, and this is going to make more sense in a minute, I am not going to be talking about specific exercises in this video. So what always tends to happen right around, like clockwork, right around Columbus Day, is that a lot of my college athletes come home for the weekend, especially the athletes that live within like an hour or two of home. They drive home for the weekend. They hang out with their friends. They go to the homecoming football game, whatever. And a lot of them come in here in the gym to work out because they're home. And I always end up asking them, I say things like, hey, how's school? School's good. Great. How's the team? How's the coach? Oh, they're good. Team's good. Are you guys practicing? Yeah. You guys in the weight room? Yeah. How's the lifting going? Because that's what I do. That's my profession. How's the lifting going? And these are the answers I always get. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, it's good, I guess. It's different. I don't really get what we're doing. I feel like we should be doing more. I feel like all the stuff we do is kind of like, it's not, like we don't go heavy. We're not really like, we don't do a lot of like strength stuff. And I sit here and I go, and this has happened for years, and I go, what do you mean you don't do strength stuff? You guys are doing squats, right? Well, no, we do like one-legged squats, like holding a dumbbell in the opposite hand. All right, you guys are doing like cleans? You guys are doing like barbell cleans, dumbbell cleans, hang cleans? No, we do a lot of like bands. So we do like band, sets of 50 band stuff. Ugh, all right. Bench press? You guys do bench press? Oh, we do like dumbbell incline press. Okay. All right. Do you have it on your phone? Because now everything is apps and like Google Sheets and whatnot, spreadsheets. So I say, can I see your workout? Can I see it on the phone? And I go, yeah, here you go. And I take a look at it and I go like this. And I go, what? That's a warm-up. What is that? No. You have warm-up exercises in your workout. Is that like, okay. And I often start to wonder, I go, okay, what's going on here? Like what I don't understand why. Is it the strength and conditioning coach at your school? Is it the head coach? Is it the position coach? Like if you're a thrower, is it your throws coach? Who does the workouts? And a lot of times it's the strength coach. We have a strength coach at the school. And I go, okay, it's kind of weird. It doesn't really make sense why they're doing this, because it's preseason, and the kids always go, yeah, I know, I don't get it. Okay, so here is the big problem. You guys have been watching this for a while. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you know that I always talk about training athletes as like a chocolate chip cookie recipe. So say you had to make a batch of chocolate chip cookies. You had to make 3 dozen chocolate chip cookies for a 3rd grade bake sale. And everybody, that was the assignment. It was just cookies. Every parent had to make 36 cookies for the 3rd grade bake sale. At the end of the day, everybody's probably going to have a different recipe. Everybody's probably going to have a different amount of sugar that they put in the batch. They're going to have a different amount of chocolate chips. Some people are going to like Nestle chocolate chips. Some people are going to like Hershey's chocolate chips. Some people are going to use chocolate chunks instead of chocolate chips. Some people might put oatmeal and make an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. Some people might put raisins in their chocolate chip cookie. Don't ever do that. Don't put raisins in your chocolate chip cookies. Okay, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, when you bring those cookies to your 3rd graders, they don't care whose recipe is better. They don't care if you use Nestle chocolate chips or if you use Hershey's chocolate chips or Whole Food brand chocolate chip or whatever brand chocolate chip. All they care about is yum, yum, cookies, cookies, yum, 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 yum. That's all they want to do. And I feel like a lot of times that's what happens in the track and field world, especially with the throwers. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. So let's do this. I did this last night. This is what kind of made me think of talking about this. So I searched last night strength training for throwers. Okay, strength training for throwers. And this is what popped up. So the first exercise, the first video, I should say, 4 best strength exercises for discus. Strength training for throws drills. Strength training for throwers. 4 best strength exercises for shot put. Special strength exercises for shot put and discus. Strength training exercises for javelin throw. 15 exceptional strength training exercises for throwers. Best explosive exercises. Strength training for hammer. Strength training for glide. Core for throwers. All it really is this is an opportunity. YouTube a lot of times becomes a platform for coaches and strength coaches to go, my exercises are better than your exercises. My cookie recipe is better than your cookie recipe. Well, I use chocolate chips. I use chocolate chunks. Well, I use Hershey. I use Nestle. And everybody gets really mad at each other. That's what happens on YouTube. I use front squats. I use back squats. Well, I do squats to a box. Well, we don't use a box. A box is cheating. Oh, well, we do this. We do wide stance. Or we do narrow stance. Well, I use a cambered bar. And I use mine weighs better. My squats are better. This is better. I do flat bench. Well, I do incline bench. Incline bench is better. Well, we do incline bench, but it's with dumbbells, so we're better. We do cleans from above the knee. We do cleans from below the knee. We do cleans off the ground, and they're better. Come on. This is what it turns into. It turns into a bunch of third graders going, I've got the best Pokemon cards. No, I've got the best one. Look at this one. Oh, this Pokemon card is better. Come on. Is this really what we do? I'm here to argue right now that exercise selection really doesn't matter. If you were to rank what matters most in training an athlete, whether it's off-season or in-season, exercise selection is definitely not the most important thing. It's not top 3. It's somewhere in that 5 or 6 range if you were to rank the importance of creating a program where the exercise selection goes. There are so many things more important than exercise selection. Like if you were making chocolate chip cookies and you're going, well, I use a cup of chocolate chips. Well, I use a cup and a half of chocolate chips. My recipe's better. How about what temperature do you put the oven? How long do you bake the cookies? What other ingredients are going in the bowl? Those things are really important, okay? If you make the best chocolate chip cookie recipe possible and you put it in the oven for 3 hours at 550 degrees, you're gonna get little bricks of charcoal. Who cares what the recipe looks like? Or if you put it in only for like 300 degrees for 5 minutes, you're just gonna get raw balls of dough. It's not even gonna cook. There are so many things more important than exercise selection, and I feel like coaches are not getting this because we're spending too much time trying to get fancy with all these exercises, too much time with these, functional training. Well, we do one leg, one dumbbell, one leg in the air, looking up at the ceiling while balancing a band and pulling a band and doing a lunge, and it's like, what is that? What happened to just doing squats and getting stronger? What happened to doing cleans and getting more explosive? What happened to doing bench press? What happened to deadlifts? What happened to lunges? What happened to body weight stuff like pull-ups, chin-ups, core work, simple stuff, med balls, jumps, box jumps? What happened to all that stuff? Where did it go? Because I'm looking at these workouts for my college athletes, and the basics are nowhere to be seen. It's all a bunch of fancy stuff done for tempo. Oh, we go 5 seconds on the way down with a pause, 2 seconds on the way up, and then down and up. Take a second, pause, do a chin up and hold yourself there, 5 seconds on the way down, jump back up, 5 seconds on the way down, all this tempo stuff, all these circuits and supersets and jump up in the air and turn 90 degrees, jump in the air, turn 90 degrees, all this crazy stuff that you see in the gym, and you look at it and you go, what are you? Are you a circus seal? Are you like a, balancing on a ball like a animal at the circus? And we're gonna throw a ball, you're gonna bounce it on your nose next? Like, what are you doing? Or are you gonna get really, really brutally strong and actually have that translate when you get into the circle? Okay, so here's what actually matters. This is what coaches and strength coaches actually have to focus on. This is what actually matters. It does not get any easier than the sport of track and field in high school or in college. Here's why. This is a typical, at least around here in New England in the colder weather states, this is a very typical yearly schedule, okay? From December, usually right around the Monday after Thanksgiving, is when indoor track, when winter track begins. And that goes from the very end of November, beginning of December, to somewhere like the second, third week of February, maybe later depending on if you make nationals. So this is your indoor season. Then you typically have about 2 or 3 weeks, and then in the middle of March to the end of May, maybe the first weekend and second weekend in June, depending on how long your season goes, this is outdoor track. And then from June to August, you have summer. And then from September to November, you have your pre-season. Excuse my handwriting. You have your pre-season. It cannot get any easier. Track is very, very easy. Even in college, you get back to school in September, preseason. November, December, you start indoor. Usually around March, you start outdoor. You're done in May, and then you have a long summer, usually about a 3.5 to 4 month summer, depending on how you actually do during your season, if you make your regional meets, if you make NCAAs, whatever it is, okay? So it's set up pretty easily for you. This is what's most important, is what do you do and what are you focused on during these actual times of year? Okay, during the winter and during the spring track seasons, this is your focus. Focus number 1 is building some strength and some power during the first maybe 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Then blending that strength development, those strength exercises, with more speed-based exercises. So going from a heavy squat to a speed squat. And then at the very end, dropping all of the heavy stuff out and going to your lighter, most explosive movements like jumps and med ball work, cleans and things like that, so that you can peak correctly for the end of the season. Okay, so now the season's over. It's June or end of May. The athletes are going back home. This is the perfect opportunity during the summer where your athletes need to be focusing on the big stuff, the big compound movements, getting super, super strong and putting on size. They are in the perfect environment to do this. They are at home. They are no longer in school. Their stress levels are way down. Mom and dad are cooking them really good meals, really good food at home. They are sleeping more. They're hanging out with their friends. They're hanging out with boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They're going to the beach. They're chilling at people's pools. They are ready to put on strength and ready to put on size. The environment to do those two things, get stronger and get bigger, is so good during the summertime. This is where they need to build strength and size. The season is nowhere in sight. The beginning of their season is 6 months away. You're not focused on speed. You're not focused on peaking. You're not focused on building power. You're working on getting as strong as possible and getting as big and as muscular as possible during the summer. During the fall, which is right now, it's October, during the fall, coaches should be working on getting stronger and getting more powerful. This is when you start to put in the more heavier, explosive exercises. So yes, you should be doing things like squats. I don't care what kind. You should be doing bench press. I don't care what kind. You should be doing deadlifts. I don't care what kind. Overhead work. I don't care what kind. Olympic lifts. I don't care what kind. I don't care what your ingredients are. I don't care if it's a clean from above the knee, a clean off of blocks, a clean when you're pulling from the ground, a dumbbell clean, a dumbbell snatch. I don't care. You still need to build your strength. And you need to start adding in exercises that are going to get your athletes more explosive and more powerful. That is what you do during the preseason. All right, how many times a week do you need to be in the weight room during this time of year? During the season, you should be in the weight room twice a week. Okay? During the summertime, you should be in the weight room 3 to 5 times a week. And during the preseason, during the fall, you should be in the weight room 2 to 3 times a week. Now, during this time right here, you should be going out and throwing a little bit as well. You should be going out. I mean, the best way to do this, take 2 days in the weight room and just work on strength, work on barbell, dumbbell stuff. Work on that stuff in the weight room. Work on power outside. So this is where you can do, your jumps, skipping, med ball work, heavy shot puts, light shot puts. This is where you can do like your plate twists and your pud throws and all your explosive stuff and some sprinting and some hill work, hill sprints. That's where you do this, outside. Don't waste your time in the weight room doing med ball stuff when you can do that outside of the circle. Take care of strength. 2 days a week in the weight room, maybe 3 days a week in the weight room if you're organized enough, and then 1 or 2 days outside working on some throws and working on building some power and some speed with plyos and med balls and all that other good stuff, okay? But this is pretty much what you're looking for. This is pretty much all that you need. You need to make sure that you have at least this skeleton. Before you start arguing over ingredients, before you start talking about what's better, a front squat or a back squat, and again, who cares? It doesn't really matter. You need to make sure that you're actually selecting the right exercises to actually get these goals accomplished. Remember, you're making chocolate chip cookies here. If the assignment is to make chocolate chip cookies and you show up with a cherry pie, you screwed up. You screwed up. You had the wrong ingredients. Everything was wrong. And that's what I'm seeing a lot nowadays, is that these coaches and these strength coaches, they don't know this. They don't understand this. Okay, there's one more thing that I want to make sure I get across in this video before this turns into a rant. The last thing that I want to talk about, something that every single strength and conditioning coach, whether you're high school or college, you need to understand this. You need to know this. Okay? If you work with, say, the men's basketball team, you can pretty much train them all the same way. If you're working with the girls' field hockey team, you can pretty much train them all the same way. The lacrosse team, the hockey team, you can pretty much train them all the same way. The cross-country team, you can train them all pretty much the same way. What about the football team? Are you going to have the kicker on the football team doing the same exact workouts as the offensive linemen are doing? Probably not. A lot of the ingredients might be the same, but everything else is different. The amount of sets, the amount of reps, the amount of weight, the amount of rest in between each exercise. Everything is going to be different because those are two completely different positions. Track and field is the same exact thing. It's the same exact way. It's broken up. You cannot have everyone on the team, because it's the track team, you cannot have everybody doing the same exact workout. And that is a problem I'm seeing as well with these college workout plans. I talk to my athletes and I go, "What are you doing?" And they go, "Well, we all go in the weight room together." I go, "What do you mean, the whole team?" They go, "Yeah, we all go in the weight room together." "Are you guys all doing the same workouts?" "Yep." So wait a second. So the distance runners are doing the same weight training workout as the sprinters, and the sprinters are doing the same weight training workout as the throwers, and the throwers are doing the same workout as the vaulters and the jumpers and the mid-distance. Like, everybody does the same workout? Yeah. Everybody does the same exercises? Yeah. Everybody does the same amount of sets? Yep. Reps? Yep. The same amount of rest in between each exercise? Yep. There's no difference. Nothing. Nope. It's the track workout. Okay, that is complete garbage. If that is what you are seeing, you are wrong, and I feel sorry that you have to go through that. But you cannot train a thrower the same way that you train a distance runner. You cannot train a sprinter the same way that you would train a mid-distance guy or a cross-country athlete or a 10K guy or a race walker. I mean, come on. There are so many different categories of track and field. You've got throwers, you've got jumpers, you've got vaulters, you've got sprinters, you've got mid-distance, you've got distance. There are so many different types of athletes. You can't all do the same workout. So if you are giving the same workout to the entire track team, no matter what events they do, you're wrong, you're lazy, and you need to stop doing that.